Good morning. Cindy here. So, are you crazy about begonias like I am? They are so easy to grow and propagate, such little care, and they are absolutely beautiful. My begonia right now is telling me it is out of fertilizer because there's not one single flower on this beautiful plant. Usually, I have a big ball of flowers on it, and they're kind of a peachy colored flower. They're so pretty. So today we're going to do a little maintenance on begonias, and I'm also going to propagate some begonias that I've had sitting in a glass of water. I've got 3 new plants that are ready to pot up. So I thought I'd take you along with me while we do that. So before we get into that, I wanted to give you a few care maintenance tips about begonias. So this one is called angel wing begonia. And this one is the one with the largest leaves, and they look like angel's wings because they usually have like a left and a right together like wings. And you can tell that they also the angel wing have the spots or like a lacy pattern on them, whereas there are many other varieties of begonias. One of the other favorites is dragon wing, and I don't have any dragon wing, but I am planning to get some soon because they look so wonderful hanging, uh, underneath a tree in a basket, and they put out a brighter red flower. So I'll be adding dragon wing begonias soon. So right now, though, I have another variety. Here is just the traditional wax leaf begonia. So this is the wax leaf old-fashioned begonia, and it's got lots of pretty pink flowers all over it. It does need a little pinching back. It's kind of definitely had a long summer in this heat. It doesn't mind the heat. Begonias are a great plant for deep shade areas like your front porch where it doesn't ever get direct sunlight. And if I were to give this begonia a new flush of fertilizer, then we would get a lot more of these pink flowers. And I am going to do that today for sure. You do not want to overwater begonias because they seem to prefer to be a little bit on the dry side. If you start seeing yellow leaves, that's a sign that you're overwatering. So these are so easy, and they really do brighten up your front porch or your back porch. So all begonias are really easy to propagate. You just snap off one of these little arms, these little branches, pop it in some water, and in a short period of time, you'll have a lot of roots that you can put in a pot and start yourself a new one. So let's pot up some of these begonias that have been waiting around in these jars. It's time, it's early morning, and I finally have the time to do it. So I'm going to bring up these begonias close to the camera so you can see what's been going on here. I've got 4 of them, and this takes about 3 weeks. But can you see those nice roots? And that's all you need. And actually, you don't even need that. You can stick these begonias in moist soil, and they'll do this even without it. But I go ahead and do that because I wasn't ready to pot them up anyway. All right, so here we go. So the first thing I do is get some good potting soil, and I have that here in this big bucket, and I want to pre-moisten it. So I've got my water here, and you just have to go with this slow, and you can put in a little water, and then you mix it around. It takes a while to get this all moistened. It's amazing how long it takes to actually get it all wet. So it's so dry. Okay. And I'll keep doing that as we go along. Ooh, I'm sweat pouring down my face. Okay, so and I've scrounged around for some pots. I have, this is like just a medium-sized pot. This is a smaller pot. And then I have this one here. And I like to just use lots of different things. But right now what I have are little pieces of broken pottery. So this is what I'm going to use to lay over the holes. I do want drainage, but I don't want all the dirt to go out the hole. So you just stick this down in here, and then you'll begin to fill up your pot, and I fill it up halfway with my pre-moistened soil. I'm going to do all three at once to save time. And I'm going to keep moistening it because it still seems to be awfully dry. You want to pick a good potting soil. Miracle-Gro is a really good one. This one is Happy Grow. I'm not real thrilled about this one. It seems to have way too many sticks in it. No, I don't really like that, but it will give me good drainage, so that's good. Okay, so now that I have my pots about 3/4 of the way full, almost. Okay. I need a dowel or the end of a gardening tool that's about the same size as these little branches that I'm going to put in. Anyway, it'll give me a hole to just pop it in, and so I don't want to accidentally break these roots off. So you want to make a nice hole. So plunge that down, and then you can put your begonia inside and then kind of pack that dirt around it, and then I will add more dirt. Let's see, I'm going to put this one in the big pot. Got all those pretty leaves. Look how pretty these are. You probably needed a bigger pot too. Let's see, how about you? No? Well, let's see, I've got some over here that are needing to go in. So let's try one that is small, and we'll experiment and see. But I've done this many times before, and that's all. As long as it's wet down in there, this will continue to grow too. So small begonia for small pot, and I'll get another pot for this one. Then you fill it in, and I need to keep moistening this soil. So another thing I put in before I finish topping it off with the rest of the soil is some fertilizer. This is an all-purpose fertilizer. It's 624, so it's not too high in anything right now because these are new plants, and I certainly don't want to burn them up right now. Although this is organic and it will not burn any plant, but I still like to start off slow, and then when it gets established and really starts putting out some new leaves and I'm ready for it to start flowering, I will add more of a high nitrogen. I'll get something that will promote flowers. So that first number might be 10 up to 15. So, but right now we're going to go slow with the fertilizer. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of fertilizer per plant. So like a palmful. So each of them will get that good start. And then I'll finish filling them up. And I'll give them a good watering, and they shall be ready to display. Now I keep my begonias in a deeply shaded patio. You don't want them in any kind of full sun. These are definitely for shade, but they definitely can take the heat. It can be 107 and they're just fine, but they do not want direct sun. You couldn't ask for a prettier plant and an easier plant. And remember not to overwater these guys. You use that finger test, and if it's dry, then water. Otherwise, they don't want too much. And I might have said before, if the leaves start turning yellow, that's letting you know you're overwatering them. And if they start to kind of sag a little bit, it may be time to water. So the last two things I do after fertilizing is I will water them in thoroughly and make sure that there's good drainage, that the water's coming out of the holes nicely. And then I add a little bit of mulch, and I just like to use rock because it's pretty, and this really does help to retain the moisture. I use just this little pea gravel. You can get this at Lowe's. It's really inexpensive. It comes in like a 10-pound, 20-pound bag, and I always have this pea gravel around. It really is great to hold in that moisture in this intense heat that we've got going on. So after I top them off, they're ready to display. So this hydrangea has been in the back corner of my patio, and I didn't realize how misshapen it's gotten. It is pretty darn ugly right now. So I'm going to do some separation. I'm going to take off this limb and put it in some water, and when it roots, this will make a beautiful new plant. And then I will let these continue to fill out. The more you pinch back the begonia branches, the fuller it will get. So this has gotten leggy, and it's maybe been pushed back too far, and it wasn't getting enough indirect sunlight. Remember, no direct sun, just indirect. So it definitely needs some attention today. And that's what we're going to do. So you look for the places where the leaves are coming out, and here is a new little spot here, and I'm just going to snap it and take off this lower leaf and pop it in the water, and in about 3 to 4 weeks this one will have a lot of nice roots and be ready to plant. It couldn't be any easier than that. And now this poor little hydrangea looks a lot better. So I'm going to take off some of these leaves. This one's been chewed by something. This one has an ugly stick. Here's another dead stick. We're going to just take this whole thing out. And I think I'm going to pop this one off right about here. Whoops, I cut off too much. There. Now, this will now fill in and look a lot better, and I'll just keep it watered. I'm going to give it some new fresh fertilizer, and this will eventually become bushier and as beautiful as all the other begonias I have. You don't need to be afraid of popping things off of begonias. They are tough, and that they kind of like it. So thanks for watching my video today. I am very curious to know if you are crazy about begonias like I am. If you are, what varieties do you grow? And what kinds of issues do you have with them? What do you use to fertilize with? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.